Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. San Antonio Spurs star center Victor Wembanyama has been diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. The unexpected ailment will reportedly sideline him for the remainder of the season. However, NBA analyst Skip Bayless theorized that San Antonio could have an ulterior motive for shutting down its top player. After competing in his first All-Star game over the weekend, Wembanyama was set to lead the Spurs' playoff push over their campaign's final third. That changed following ESPN's Shams Charania's Thursday report about the standout sophomore's medical scare. Per Charania, San Antonio believes Wembanyama is dealing with an isolated blood clot and could be ready to go for the offseason and 2025-26 season. The league insider added that the setback came amid the organization's aspirations to secure its first playoff berth since 2019. However, according to Bayless, the Spurs, 23-29, may have been plotting to throw in the towel on their season to give Wembanyama extended rest. The longtime pundit noted that the team came out of the All-Star break well behind the Western Conference's final play-in spot. Thus, Bayless seemingly hinted that the franchise is better off tanking. To Bayless's point, San Antonio has the league's 10th worst record and could fall a few more spots in Wembanyama's absence. Such a scenario would boost its NBA draft lottery odds and chances of landing another high-impact player ahead of his third season. However, the Spurs made a win-now move before the trade deadline. They acquired star point guard De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings in a 3-team deal on February 3. Moreover, teams angling to shut down players typically don't use serious medical conditions as justification. Thus, it appears far more likely that Wembanyama's ailment derailed the organization's rest of season plans. Victor Wembanyama is one of several high-profile NBA players who have faced blood clot troubles. Most notably, former Miami Heat star big man Chris Bosh was diagnosed with a pulmonary embolism and deep vein thrombosis in 2015 and 2016. The 11-time All-Star's blood clots ultimately forced him into early retirement. However, according to the San Antonio Express News' Mike Finger, Wembanyama's case is not as serious as Bosh's was. Thus, it appears Spurs fans can breathe a sigh of relief that there likely won't be any long-term complications to their franchise players' health. Skip Bayless has never been one to hold back his opinions, and this time, his sights are set on Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. The outspoken sports analyst recently took to social media and his FS1 show, Undisputed, to question the legitimacy of Wembanyama's shoulder injury, bluntly suggesting that the Spurs may have made the call to shut their rookie sensation down for the season. "Something about this doesn't add up," Bayless declared, his signature skepticism in full force. Victor Wembanyama, the so-called generational talent, just suddenly goes down with a shoulder injury that nobody saw happen? I wonder if the Spurs decided to shut him down. Maybe they don't want to risk him getting exposed. The claim set off a firestorm of debate among basketball fans and analysts alike. Was Skip Bayless onto something? Or was this just another one of his trademark hot takes? Wembanyama's shoulder injury reportedly occurred during a game against a Western Conference rival, but replays failed to capture a clear moment of impact. The 7'4" French Phenom continued playing through the pain before the team announced he would miss an indefinite period to recover. The Spurs, known for their cautious approach to young stars, have remained tight-lipped about the severity of the injury and any potential timetable for his return. While injuries are nothing new in the NBA, especially for taller players who often deal with wear and tear, Bayless' suggestion that the Spurs may have strategically sidelined Wembanyama is a bold one. Remember, this is the same franchise that kept Kawhi Leonard out for an entire season with a quad issue. No one understood, Bayless continued. They have a history of being overly protective or even secretive about injuries. I don't trust it. Bayless' comments have reignited discussion about the Spurs' long-term vision for Wembanyama. With the team unlikely to make the playoffs in his rookie season, some speculate that San Antonio could be taking a conservative approach, prioritizing his health over a few more meaningless games. Others believe it could be a strategic decision to improve their draft lottery odds, ensuring they get another high pick to pair with Wemby next season. I wouldn't put it past them, Bayless argued. This is a franchise that knows how to play the long game. Look what they did with Tim Duncan and David Robinson. They're not in a rush to make the playoffs now. They're thinking 5, 10 years ahead. Maybe they figured, why risk him getting hurt worse? Let's shut him down and secure another top pick. Of course, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich isn't the type to respond to media speculation, especially from someone as polarizing as Bayless. But his silence only fuels further speculation. The organization has stood by its statement that Wembanyama's health is the priority, and that they are making decisions in his best interest. The NBA world has had mixed reactions to Bayless' take. Some believe he's simply stirring the pot, looking for engagement and controversy as he often does. Others, however, think he might be onto something. One anonymous league executive weighed in. It wouldn't shock me if the Spurs are erring on the side of caution. They're in no hurry to compete right now, and they know Wembanyama is their future. If he's even slightly banged up, shutting him down makes sense. However, former NBA players and analysts like Richard Jefferson and J.J. Redick have called Bayless' claims irresponsible. Skip loves a good conspiracy, but the idea that the Spurs are faking an injury is ridiculous, Redick said on his podcast. Do we really think Wembanyama, the most competitive young guy we've seen in years, would agree to just sit out games for no reason? Even with the controversy, there's no denying that Wembanyama's absence will impact the Spurs' performance. With him on the floor, San Antonio has been far more competitive, despite their losing record. Without him, they look like a team destined for the bottom of the standings. Beyond just Wembanyama's injury, Bayless' comments raise a broader conversation about how teams handle star rookies and injuries. The NBA has cracked down on load management, requiring teams to provide legitimate medical reasoning for sitting players. If the Spurs were indeed being overly cautious with Wembanyama, they'd have to tread carefully to avoid scrutiny from the league office. The parallels to Kawhi Leonard's infamous injury situation with the Spurs only add to the drama. Leonard sat out nearly an entire season in San Antonio due to a quad issue that led to a rift between him and the team, eventually resulting in his trade to Toronto. While Wembanyama's case is vastly different, Bayless' speculation taps into the lingering mistrust some still have toward the Spurs' medical handling of injuries. As of now, the Spurs have given no concrete update on Wembanyama's return, leaving fans to wonder when, or if, he will play again this season. Some believe he'll be back after the All-Star break, while others think the team will keep him sidelined until next year. Meanwhile, Bayless continues to double down on his stance, tweeting daily about the situation, and even hinting that Wembanyama himself might prefer to sit rather than risk further injury. I don't blame the kid, Bayless said. Why risk a serious injury for a team that isn't even in playoff contention? He knows he's the future. Maybe he's looking out for himself. Whether there's truth to Bayless' theory or not, one thing is certain. His words have added fuel to an already burning conversation. The NBA world will be watching closely to see how Wembanyama and the Spurs handle this situation moving forward. For now, Spurs fans will have to wait and see if their prize rookie returns to the court. And as always, Skip Bayless will be there to offer his unfiltered opinion, whether people like it or not.